Hey all, Dominic here again, welcome to another video. I hope you're all okay today and I hope you're having a great weekend so far. Before I start, I just want to say that this video will be uploaded a little bit later than usual. The reason why is because I've actually been out and about, spending a bit of time with my uncle and granddad. So, sorry about that, but I hope you still enjoyed today's video. So, as I said yesterday, I'm going to be doing another Doctor Who related video. Also, I did one yesterday, sort of sharing my thoughts on the planned 1990s reboot series, the Leakley Bible. And today's is going to be my thoughts of the Pre-Hartnell Doctors, as we found out in last week's episode of Doctor Who. So, obviously, we found out that there are previous incarnations before the first Doctor. So, what are my thoughts about this? Am I annoyed like everyone else? Or am I quite happy with the way they did it? Overall, I'm actually quite pleased with the way they did it. I know a lot of people are quite scared about the rumours and the things being teased about, there's probably other incarnations of the Doctor before the first Doctor. But when you really look at it, I know people keep saying, canon's being broken and stuff. Canon has not been broken. The way that they've done it, the way that Chris Chibnall's done it, is they've actually extended the life of the Doctor. That it turned out she had more lives before the first Doctor. And obviously we found out that she is the Timeless Child, but also that the Fugitive Doctor, played by Jo Martin, is a previous incarnation, or past incarnation before the first. And also, the Morbius Doctors are her as well. And I know people might think that you got to get sort of technical on this. It's like, okay guys, get your pen and papers out. We need to, okay, put every single number of Doctor. We need to do this, okay? Yeah, some people might get really technical on that, but you've got to think that, yeah, people might want to do that. The one might, lay out which incarnation is from which point. Because I end up thinking about that. I'm thinking, okay, well, which number, if you want to say, is Jo Martin's Doctor? Which number is the Morbius Doctors? All that sort of stuff. It will make me think that. I think one day I'll end up going back and thinking, yeah, let's do that and stuff. But I like the way they did it, especially with the scene when the Doctor, obviously, she's doing like the mind blow up thing with the Matrix, and it's pretty cool to see the Doctor going back. Obviously from series 12, then the New Year special, then at series 11, and then she goes through obviously all the previous incarnations. So from the 12th to the 1st, and then it shows her being the Timeless Child, the Morbius Doctors, and the Fugitive Doctor. I liked the way they did that, and I think even when the music started, it like this like hardcore rock mix. It really, really good. It was just fantastic, and it's sort of, from what I heard, a lot of people got a bit of nostalgia, for obviously with classic Who, like thinking, I remember that bit. It's good to see all the previous Doctors and stuff, and I liked that. I really, really did. But I think other people might mention, for example, the War Doctor, or even the Meta-Crisis Doctor from the aborted regeneration. And that's sort of the same thing as well, because we did not have a War Doctor. We did not have that for so long. We always saw it as going from 1 to 8 and then 9 to 11. We never had an incarnation between the 8th and 9th until we had the War Doctor at the end of the series 7 finale. And you could sort of say that's sort of extended, so it's sort of like filling in the gap, so it is. But people might think, well, yeah, Dominic, that gap needed to be done. That gap needed to be done. What they're doing now, or the ruined Doctor Who, the ruined Doctor Who, my life is over. I know, guys, my life is over. The ruined Doctor Who. What's supposed to do now? No. They've not ruined Doctor Who. They've just made it more interesting, sort of make people think, okay, sort of think, okay, so it looks like we've got more into it. I do agree that, obviously the Doctor, knowing now that the Doctor's not from Gallifrey, Um, I do agree that that might annoy a lot of people, but it sort of makes it interesting. But I think even like when you're watching old episodes from, newer Who episodes, I think you end up thinking that like the Doctor's not from Gallifrey anymore. And people might think, does that make it redundant? I don't think it does, because the fact that the Doctor's grown up from there. Obviously it does, she's grown up, that's how she's always seen it as. But it turns out she's from a different planet, which we don't know, where she's from. And I think that people might think, say, similarity of someone being adopted, and then you're finding out that you're being adopted and your parents aren't, your birth parents. That probably might, hurt many people, but you're thinking that, who are my real parents? But a lot of people will still see their adopted parents as their proper family. And, that's just how it is. And I know it's just a weird, it's just a weird, thing to sort of make a similarity, but just an example, an example really. But also with Doctor Who, that Doctor Who's a show that has got so much, sort of different, things with canon, where you've got the mainline canon Doctors, or the incarnations, and you've also got non-canon Doctors who are alternatives, or from a different timeline, because we saw that with Curse of the Fatal Death, the comic relief special from the end of the 90s, where it was seen as like proper Doctor Who, but it was like a parody, like a non-canon story. So that's like an alternative timeline. You got Richard E. Grant's Schalke Doctor. Originally started off as a mainline canon Ninth Doctor, but the 2005 revival ignored what happened with him, so he became an alternative Ninth Doctor. So he did. You've got the Unbound stories with Big Finish. You've got other things that have come out, which obviously, and sometimes are not taken seriously, but it's sort of like, an interesting like alternative, if you want to say that. And Doctor Who's got that, you know what I mean? And it's just how it is. You look at the Valiard, you know what I mean? Someone who we still don't actually know who he is. I know it's always said, oh, well, it's between numbers 12 and 13, but, we honestly don't properly know that. You've got the Meta-Crisis Doctor as well, from the, when the 10th Doctor regenerated and he just healed himself. Same thing. It all adds up, because even when you look at the 13th Doctor, she's technically the 15th because of the War Doctor, and also the 10th Doctor regenerated twice, so he did. So that bumps up the numbers, so it does. And even that regeneration, people still, go crazy for it. People still rant about it, so they do. Saying that, oh, well, that regeneration don't count, you know what I mean? Well, it's been canon, it's technically been an official counted regeneration since 2013, you know what I mean? And I remember when that episode aired back in 2008, and like I said before, I had an argument with a friend of mine at school at the time, where he did not count it, but I did. So, you know what I mean? So it's just funny like that and stuff. And I think one thing obviously I want to talk about with Jo Martin's Doctor is, I think she played the role of her Doctor very, very well, so she did. And honestly, I want to see Big Finish get her and do Doctor Audios as her incarnation, because I think she was really, really good. She was fantastic for what, she played with her character. She was just tremendous in that way. It was fantastic. And that's just how it is. And honestly, I want her to do Big Finish Audios as her Doctor. We'll have to wait and see if that ever does happen, but that'd be pretty cool, and pretty cool to see that. So it will be. So with that, like I said, canon has not been broken. It's extended it, and it sort of made the Doctor's life a little bit more interesting to find out, that she had previous incarnations before the first. And I like the way they did it. I think people are just annoyed because they think, oh, well, William Hartnell's not the first Doctor anymore. That's not true. Like, William Hartnell is still the first Doctor in the line of doctors, he's still the first. Nothing has changed, so it hasn't. But again, I understand a lot of people are annoyed about that. What I was thinking, what do we call this now? Do we call it pre-classico? Pre-classico. Probably, you know, fans will. I remember back in the 40s, oh, Joe Martin as the Doctor, she was great in the role. It's been like 80 years since she last played it. Just making a joke there, but yeah, apart from the joking and stuff, I like the way they did it, and I think even having the Morbius Doctors was quite interesting. And I think with that inclusion, even though not sort of being it was sort of teased back then, wasn't it, that the Doctor had previous incarnations before the first. It sort of made me want to watch that Doctor Who story, because I've not seen Brain of Morbius, so that might be something I definitely want to, you know, watch one of these days. So yeah. So overall, I'm quite happy with this. I am. Like I said, the way they did it was really, really cool, really, really good, and I can't wait until we get the next episode. I think it's supposed to be Christmas Day or this year or New Year's Day 2021. I don't know yet, but I just want to say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and stuff. There'll be a Series 12 review very soon, so there will be. I'll probably do it maybe in, you know, the next couple of weeks, because I just want to talk about it and yeah, sort of share my thoughts on it. So I do. So I just want to say thanks for watching the video. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be back on Tuesday. Bye all.